What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and I know it has been a while, but you know what? It's been enjoyable just, enjoying not doing YouTube videos there for a while. Now, before we get into the exciting news of the new EA college football game, I do want to kind of give you a little bit of what's been going on and behind the scenes with me in that. I know a lot of you guys have think the channel's dead and I'm not going to be coming back and doing any more videos. And that's probably the farthest from the truth. I think that you might see things are going to be a little bit different this time around, but hey, different is good, but trust me, I'm the same old person and giving you the same insight that I had before. I just needed to take a break. I was super busy. I was doing a lot of other things that were taking up my time. And just to be quite frank, just really wasn't into it this year with football the way that it was. I really tried. I mean, you're talking about a guy who watched football all day long, and it was just really hard for me to get into it this year with everything going on, everything surrounding all of the sports and everything with it. I just didn't enjoy it. So it was just a nice opportunity for me to get away with it, get away with it. Yeah, get away with not being here, but get away from it, get away from sports, and just enjoy life, spending time with family, doing other things, getting into those other things that I enjoy and love, and just kind of, getting away from all that for a little while. So it was enjoyable. I enjoyed doing it. No, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with my family. Didn't have anything crazy like that happen. Thank the Lord. Blessed with all that. But I just kind of wanted to just kind of, clear the air with that. I figured, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Let's just continue this break on, get through the Super Bowl, and then we'll start things back up. And that's what we'll do. We're going to go ahead. We're going to definitely still cover things, but kind of as they happen with it. And so since things kind of weren't happening on the alternative football side of things with it, I just figured, you know what? Let's just hold things off, and once the NFL season, Super Bowl's over, we'll go ahead and we'll start some things back. Now, just last week we had some great news, and a lot of you already have looked into this, and so I'm going to give my thoughts on this because I think that this is super exciting. This is a cool thing. EA is finally, after the last game came out in 2013. So we're looking at over 8 years. Probably by the time the game comes out, it's going to be 9 years since they've had a college football game. I sat and spent hours playing that game, playing those games. Continue to play it. I mean, I still own the latest iteration of the game on a PS3 because I liked it so much, and I still have it for that and All Pro Football 2K8. So, you're talking to a guy with a lot of experience in the game, and I really, truly enjoyed the game. Now, as we're looking at things with it, though, there are some things that I'm truly excited about and some things that I've got some concerns about. So let's go ahead and let's kind of lay of the land of what's going on here. So pretty much EA came out and said, hey, we're bringing college football back to the video game world, and they kind of tweeted out, gave us a picture. It's called EA College Football. And they did say a few things that gave us some insight to it. So pretty much what they're doing right now is they're setting up their team, putting together their team that is going to put this game together. So they're getting people involved, getting the team together. They're finalizing their deal for licensing. So if you're wondering if they're going to have, the regular college teams or if they're going to have made up stuff, they're going to have the regular college teams. They're finishing up their licensing with all of these different colleges. I can't remember exactly the name of the company that handles all of that, but they're right now in negotiations with them, working on a deal. It looks like things are pretty much gonna, just logistics need to be worked out of how all that's gonna get paid out, and that with it for the licensing. So that's pretty much set and ready to go. So and it's looking like you know how EA is with their sports games. They come up right before the season starts. So I got a feeling that right now, if they're just starting to get the team together, that it's not going to be until 2022 that we're actually going to get a game. So it'll probably, be EA College Football 23 is probably what the game will be. And also, too, if you notice, they're taking away the NCAA College Football name, taking away the NCAA, whatever, which is a good thing and is an interesting thing. And a lot of it has to do with branding with it, because they don't want to lock themselves into the NCAA game, because who knows? There's been a lot of talk that teams could break away from the NCAA and do their own thing, especially with the way, that this whole thing of using players' likenesses and not using their likenesses, and that they've pretty much come out and said that they're not using any player license, player likenesses. They're not going to be paying players for anything like that. So it looks like that's pretty much going to be a bunch of fictional characters, fictional players that are going to be in this game, which I think is a good thing for them. Now, let's break it down into two things here. Let's look at, now that we've kind of laid the land of what actually everything is. So we're going to be getting a game probably in 2023, and that's going to be a fully licensed game, and that is going to be called EA College Football. And the reasoning, again, behind that is all for branding. So if they get ink and deal with the college football playoff, if the college football playoff goes away, all that, they can go ahead and they can do that, and they're not locked into the NCAA. And again, like I said before, there has been talks of colleges leaving the NCAA because of that whole, pay to play, not pay to play thing. And that's, is getting hashed out in the courts and legislation, and we'll see where all that transpires. So it's just an easy way for them for branding purposes. Now, so let's break it down into the things that I'm cautious about and the things that I'm excited about. So let's talk about the easy stuff, the things I'm excited about. I'm excited about getting a game back again. I'm excited about playing a game. I want my dynasty mode back. I want to be able to go in. I want to be able to take these, build up some crazy teams, take them to the championship, recruit players, bring in these 5-star recruits and do that and build up to these 6-star, powerhouse programs, be able to create these Heisman Trophy winners, go through, steal a recruit, do all that stuff. I'm excited for that. The other thing that I'm excited, for in this whole situation is that this game, they're going to be creating their own team with this. So this is not going to be just, Madden 2, or, this is just college version of Madden. And as I look at this and look to the past, if you remember, they kind of started off kind of down the same path, Madden and NCAA, but they broke off from one another, even so much so that you even had, I think it was a year or two, where you couldn't import your draft classes from NCAA into, draft, you take your seniors and make them into a draft class for, Madden, because the games had, taken and forked off of each other, which I think is a very, very good thing. Because if you follow a lot of the stuff that's going on with Madden and a lot of the things, I mean, when you've got your ultimate Madden team championship winner being a guy who uses a punter as his quarterback, that's just not a good thing. It's not a good setup, and so there's a lot of things with that. Now, do I think the base game is going to be based off of Madden? Yes, but having a new team, having fresh ideas, having fresh eyes on it, I think are great. There's a lot of depth that they have built into Madden that I think will translate really, really well to the college football world, that they can, pull and take from Madden. So as I see that and as I look at that, I think that that's a really, really good thing with it. So I'm excited to see, that aspect, take it into there. Getting a good, solid realistic simulation football game. I think that that's really good, and I'm excited for all of those things. There are some issues, and again, it goes back to a lot of the Madden stuff that does concern me. One of the things that concerns me is the MUT stuff, microtransactions. EA is notorious for that. Not only do they want you to buy the game, but they want to continue to make money off of you after you purchase the game. So the question is now, what are they going to do? Because that's what it's all about in Madden. Buying these MUT packs, go through and do that. I mean, you don't have the guys who are continuing doing, the replay value is definitely a lot different than what the guys who continue to play the NCAA 14 and games of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle all of that situation. And unfortunately, I've got my reservations and my doubts about that, because from their history, they want to keep getting money from you. So for you to be able to play things, you have to pay them. So what really ends up being, you buy a $50, $60 game, ends up being, by the time you're done, $80, $100, I don't know, by the time you get done buying all of their stuff. And I hope that that's not the case with this game. I hope that they leave that alone. I hope the other thing too is that the NFL is very, very controlling over their product. There are a lot of do's and don'ts that they can and cannot do in Madden. There are things that they specifically have to do, and there are things that they specifically can't do in Madden. There's our do's and don'ts and things, and they've really taken a lot of the customization out of the Madden game because of what the NFL has told them they can and they can't do. And I hope that that does not happen with this game. I hope that they bring the customization back to where we really truly can, create a game and a game experience that transcends just the current quote unquote world we live in, and you can really create a landscape of college football that you want, that you can get immersive into it. And so I'm really hesitant on a lot of those levels with a lot of this stuff, just based upon EA's history in this kind of a setting, this kind of setup in that with it. It does concern me greatly, with those things. What are they going to do? What are they going to allow us as fans, as gamers, as people to be able to do? And what are the limitations they're going to be putting on us because of these paywalls that they're going to be putting up? So I'm really concerned, about those things. But really, outside of that, overall, this is a positive thing. It's a positive step in the right direction. I would love to be able to actually have a fully customizable game to where I could come in and have all of these generic teams, all of these, generic schools, generic players, and be able to create a fully, completely unique experience to where it's a world like to my own that I have there and that I'm working through and doing. That's going to be really interesting to see how much of that I can actually create. Another thing that does concern me is it's a double-edged sword, because I think with the depth that you get in Madden, I think that's really going to help them with the whole recruiting aspect and being able to recruit players, how you're going to be able to do that, the options that you have, what things you can really look at in doing that. I've never really been a big guy to play these, kind of story modes where you take a player through his career. I see that could be a possibility, a nice option for some people that like that stuff. But I do have question on how much we're going to be able to customize, how much we're going to be able to do things in that realm of the recruiting and that building out your thing. Again, it goes back to the customization of really the experience that I have and how much I can customize it and how much I can come out with my own, my own stuff, create my own game and have my own game as opposed to just playing the world that, EA has created for me. I want to be able to create my own world. I don't want to have to live, like in the NFL game, in the NFL, within the NFL's confines, with exactly what they want you to do, with being exactly what they want you to experience and all of that. I really want to be able to be free. And my biggest concern, and where all my concerns lie, all my concerns lie in that aspect of it. How much am I going to be able to create my own experience? And so that's really kind of what it is, though. All in all, excited about it. I think it's a good thing. And I think it also, listen, I think that it still leaves us opportunities still out there for other companies to come in and create some great, great games. So EA, I think this is great. I can't wait to hear more and see more about what's going on. It's great to be back in front of the camera, getting information out to you guys again. I kind of missed doing this. And so it's kind of nice to get back in the saddle again and get things going. All right. Well, I know that you're busy. I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.